Christos Anesti. Christ is risen. How are you all today? Good? Wonderful. Did you hear the gospel story? The story about the blind man? It's a beautiful story. It's one of my favorites. We're not going to talk about it today. Did you hear the epistle? It's a more complicated story, and there's all sorts of distracting details in there. But the simple story by itself is beautiful. So, since this is the last sermon for the young people before Sunday school is all done, and you all go somewhere else for the summer, or hopefully you still come here, we'll tell a story. You know the Apostle Paul, yes? St. Paul. He's on the holy doors. We need to get the icon fixed, but he's there. And he had a friend who was named Silas. You know anybody named Silas? It's a strange name. We don't use it anymore. You know anybody named Paul? Like Father Paul. You remember him. So, Paul and Silas were going and preaching. And when they went into the city and they preached the gospel, they told the people about Jesus Christ. And they got mad at them, and they threw them in jail. Now, the jail isn't a nice place. It's the same kind of jail as there is now. And in the jail are all the thieves, and all the murderers, and all the evil people that are there. But they throw the apostles in with the thieves, because they figure they're pretty bad too. They're a little bit confused, yes? Just a little bit? Okay. So what do Paul and Silas do? Do they pound on the door and say, this isn't right, this isn't fair, this isn't just, let us out? No, not exactly. Do they sit there and mope and say, I don't want to be in jail, this is just not right, this isn't fair, I'm not having fun? What do? Did anybody hear? They prayed, that's right. Did you hear what else they did? What do we do in church? We pray and... what's the choir do? And they sang. They sang the hymns of the church. They sang the glorious prayers and psalms of the people of God. And they sang all night. Or at least as long of the night as they had, because God did something then. At midnight, or in the middle of the night when it was dark, and all of the prisoners are listening and maybe complaining, saying, what's up with these guys? They're keeping us awake. I want to go to sleep. Well, then there was an earthquake, and they weren't asleep at all. And in the course of the earthquake, the chains and the bars and the whole prison broke open, but nobody got hurt. But the chains fell off of their arms, and all the prison doors were sagging, and everybody was coming out of the cells. And the guy who was in charge of the prison, an important man, because he did a good job. He made sure that the chains stayed on, and the doors stayed locked, and nobody could get out, because that's what a prison is for. Well, he comes. He feels the earthquake. He runs to the prison, and he sees that everything is open, and he thinks they've all gone. Oh my goodness, I'm a dead man. And he's going to kill himself. He pulls out his sword. He has it on the ground. He's going to fall down on it. And Paul runs out and says, no, don't hurt yourself. We're all here. We haven't left. We made your prison a church, and now it's not much of a prison anymore, but we're all here. We didn't leave. And the man says, this is unusual. This would never happen. Can you imagine if the prison opened up today? Would anyone stick around? Not really. But of course, there aren't apostles there either. So the warden, the man in charge of the prison, he says, you're different. Tell me about it. Why did you stay? Why were you singing instead of complaining? Why were you praying instead of railing? And why did you stay? And by morning, the apostles had preached the gospel to him and to all of his family, and they'd baptized him and probably some of the prisoners, because they didn't leave either, and they could have. And then in the morning, they decided to let Paul and Silas go. So it's quite a story, yes? So, I'm going to ask you to do me a favor. You have good plans for the summer? Going to do things, going to go on vacation? Maybe find an amusement park? Ride the rides? Maybe possibly a water park because it's so hot down here? I'm told it's going to be really hot. So, some days things aren't going to go right. You're going to have big plans and it's going to rain. Or you're going to be looking for rain and it's going to be sunny. Or something's going to happen and your parents won't be able to go. Who knows? Something's going to go wrong. I guarantee it in the course of the summer. When it goes wrong, remember Paul and Silas. Don't complain. Don't yell. Don't gripe and whine and cry like we all do. Sing. Say a prayer. And be grateful for what you have. Because who knows what wonderful things God can do for all of us when we pray and sing psalms and hymns and take joy in our salvation instead of complaining about all the smaller things. Okay? Very good. We'll see you all again here in August or September when we start up again. Have a good summer. Let's all stand now and we'll continue the liturgy.